Okay, Benny, next up we have the Indianapolis Colts. Strange that they are eliminated at plus 86 net points, but they're another team who got their chance last year and went down in flames in the game that meant the most. Their general manager is Chris Ballard. Their head coach is Frank Reich. Offensive coordinator Marcus Brady. Defensive coordinator Gus Bradley. Special teams coordinator Bubba Ventrone. And now, new quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, one Matty Ice Ryan.
Yep. Yeah, Indianapolis Colts. Here's another team that went into the season with a lot of promise, and things just didn't quite work out for them. GM Chris Ballard probably under fire a little bit for the Carson Wentz fiasco. But besides that, as far as I'm concerned, he's shown himself to be a pretty good GM. He started his career as a scout with the Bears back in 2001 and ascended to director of scouting in 2012. So he was with the Bears for a long time. In 2013, he joined the Chiefs, as their director of player personnel, then became director of football operations and stayed there until 2016. He was hired as general manager by the Colts in 2017. The head coach is Frank Reich. After a respectable playing career, mostly as a pretty efficient backup. Old guys like you and me will remember Frank Reich from his playing days.
Great comeback, right?
Right, the great comeback with the Buffalo Bills. He became a coaching intern with the Colts and then served as a quarterback coach and wide receiver coach for the Colts and then for the Cardinals and the Chargers. So he's been around to a couple different organizations.
Look at that experience level they have listed there.
Yes, very much.
44 years.
Total, yeah. It's great. He became offensive coordinator with the Chargers from 2014 to 2015, and then became the OC for the Eagles in 2016 and 2017. Was part of their Super Bowl win, Super Bowl 52. He then was hired as the Colts head coach in 2018, right after the Super Bowl win. Makes sense. Offensive coordinator Marcus Brady played and started his coaching career in the CFL. That was different. Thought I'd mention that. He was hired as a quarterback coach with the Colts in 2018 and became their offensive coordinator just last season. So that was a promotion for him. Defensive coordinator Gus Bradley began his NFL coaching career as a linebacker coach with the Buccaneers in 2006. He became defensive coordinator for the Seahawks in 2009 and is credited with the beginnings of building the Legion of Boom. Yeah, the very start of it anyway. He was hired as head coach of the Jaguars in 2013, held that position until 2016. After that, he was fired, and then he was hired as the defensive coordinator of the Chargers in 2017. So, you know, his success with the Legion of Boom, just kind of getting it started, that rep held on. He held on to that rep, you know, becomes the head coach, gets fired, and then jumps right back in as a defensive coordinator for the Raiders. He held that position last season, and now he takes over as DC for the Colts. So he's new on the job there in Indianapolis. Matty Ryan, obviously, is their quarterback, veteran quarterback, been to a Super Bowl, well-respected. We'll see what happens.
All right.
A lot of questions left unanswered for this team. I'll say that.
Well, let's see what he has to work with for the Indianapolis Colts roster resets here. What do you got? Adds, losses, rounds?
Oh, geez. Let's see. Adds, obviously, Matt Ryan. Big plus, simply because you got to have some kind of a competent quarterback. They grabbed Yannick Ngakoue, a nice edge rusher away from the Raiders. I'm not sure what that situation was there, if that was money or what was going on there. But that's a big loss for the Raiders. Mo Alley Cox will be re-signed as a tight end. He's a decent player. Their biggest loss is T.Y. Hilton. I think is kind of on his downside. I don't know how many more good seasons T.Y. Hilton has left in him. Rock Ya-Sin is a decent corner, not a big-time corner, not a real star, just kind of a solid guy. Mark Lewinsky, I believe, is a pretty big loss at offensive guard, and he was a big pickup for my Giants. He is now with the Giants, and I'm loving it. Let's see what they did in the draft. No number one, no pick in the first round. Round two, pick number 53, they grabbed Alec Pierce, a wide receiver from Cincinnati. Now, if you're not familiar with his name, he played at the University of Cincinnati, a team that made it to the Final Four in the college playoffs, a team that was undefeated for the regular season and quarterbacked by Desmond Ridder. So Alec Pierce is going to be a real nice player. He should do well for the Colts. I can say a fantasy note here, just because we're talking about them picking up as their first pick a wide receiver. Their round 3 pick is Jelani Woods, a big tight end out of Virginia. Should be a decent run blocker. I don't know how he'll do as a receiver, but the guy's huge. And that's all I've got to say about those guys.